Before we get started with the demo, let's cover our purview sensitivity labels, or MIP labels, that we've created in our environment. We have a number of labels here, including an ITAR label that we will be applying to files. This same ITAR label will be used in the NextLab's ABAC policies as a resource attribute. I've created a Word document that requires a classification with a sensitivity label, and I'm going to label it with an ITAR sensitivity label and then save that off to my drive locally. I've signed into SharePoint as Cliff, and I'm in the ITAR site, and as you can see here, most of the files on this site have a sensitivity label of ITAR, and because of my user attributes for clearance and country, the NextLab's ABAC policies for SharePoint Enforcer allow me to access the files labeled with ITAR. I will be able to view, to share, to copy a link, to download, and to delete these files. Additionally, I can upload my file that I just created and that has a sensitivity label of ITAR. I can upload that to the SharePoint site. When I upload this new document with that ITAR label, all of the same policies will apply. So I'll be able to open this file. I can share this as a link. I can copy the link, download the file, and I can also delete the file. Now let's take a look at Anne's access to the files on the same SharePoint site. Now signed into SharePoint as the user Anne and in the ITAR site, when we select a file that has a sensitivity label of ITAR and we look at the properties of the file, there's a not authorized access message displayed. For other actions such as open or view, access denied. If we try to share a link, we're blocked from doing so. We're also blocked from copying the link. Download, access denied, and delete, access denied. So Anne's access to the files with a sensitivity label of ITAR is enforced by the NextLab's ABAC policies for SharePoint Enforcer, specifically because Anne's clearance and country attributes. Since the NextLab SharePoint enforcement trimming settings have not been configured, Anne can still view the list of files in the ITAR site that she does not have permission to access. I will now configure the NextLab SharePoint enforcement trimming settings and then see what Anne is able to view on the ITAR site. So what we see here is the NextLab SharePoint Enforcer configurable settings, and the two that we're going to focus on now, and first is the security trimming for site collection. And so what this does is it automatically hides web parts, site menus, or tree views that the user does not have permission to access on a page. The second one is trimming of lists. So the list trimming automatically hides list items that the user does not have permission to access, either in a list or a document library, and the unauthorized items are removed or trimmed after SharePoint has queried the database. So let's go take a look and see how this impacts Anne's view. When we refresh Anne's browser, files are trimmed from Anne's ITAR view to only the files Anne has permissions to access. This is enforced by the NextLab SharePoint Enforcer using ABAC policies based on the purview MIP sensitivity label of the file with clearance and country attributes of the user.